Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast.
Your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
Let's talk about it. I gotta admit, mother and daughter are always greater when they're together. Everything's better. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo.
Start your very own 501c3 tax-exempt fundable organization today. I've got a few questions for you. Have you ever wondered why over 91 U.S. major companies pay zero in taxes? We're talking about major companies such as Amazon, Duke Energy, Eli Lilly, FedEx, Delta Airlines, MGM Resorts, and even Starbucks. Are you ready to start your very own freedom plan and write your own paycheck and create a legacy that outlives you? Do you want to make a big impact in the world and be paid for what makes you wake up excited to do daily? Well, don't hate the players. Just learn the rules to the game and become a master at creating your own legacy. Rule number 1. Start your very own 501c3 tax-exempt fundable organization today. Contact Ms. Dawn when you're ready and learn how to do this and learn about local, national, and federal grants to support your ideas. Guess what? You'll also receive $500 off of your fee by mentioning this ad. My name is Ms. Dawn. I live in Katy, Texas, and I've been a business development consultant since 1998. Give me a call so I can help you.
Do you experience issues or any sleep disorders? What about PMS? Any chronic joint pain relief needed? Or migraine relief needed? Well, don't panic, it's organic, baby! Certified Hip Hut is a natural path to good health. Stop by and let us cook you a great meal in-house or to go. Also, please keep in mind, when you visit Certified Hip Hut's location and make an in-house purchase, you will receive a variety of samples to try out. Everyone loves samples, I know I do. Come check us out at our location. We're at 3422 Farm to Market 2920, and that's in Spring, Texas 77388.
I'm excited about this show today, but I also have to make a disclaimer. My disclaimer is that this show is for educational purposes only. And the reason I say it's educational purposes only is because, again, our goal here at Mother-Daughter-ish is to build a community of 1 million women. So on our Million Woman movement, we want to be a source of education. I've got 25 years as an entrepreneur and a business development consultant, and I see things in a different way. Mm-hmm. You see things from your perspective of where you are in life or from what your knowledge is, and I see from what I've seen in business and the way things work behind the scenes. See, it's one thing to know you want to start a business, but it's another thing to know how to do the behind the scenes business.
Right.
Okay, because people have great ideas all day long, but they don't know the back end working. So we have to put that disclaimer out there. And as you can see, as you're looking at the show, you'll see the copyright and the disclaimer notification as well at the front of the show. But we have to do that for legal purposes because we are going to be talking about a company that has had massive growth over years. But the reason it took our interest is because it is pertaining to women. And since we are women, we feel like we have the authority to make a comment on it. Mm-hmm. So basically, this is just our opinion, right? Mm-hmm. This is just our personal comments on how we feel about what we saw. And what we are talking about today is we are talking about a show that I originally saw on Amazon Prime and told you about it, right? Mm-hmm. And the show is called, if you want to look at it and give your opinion, we'd love to see in the comments what your opinion is on Amazon Prime. The show is called LuLaRoe. And just to give you a little background, LuLaRoe documentary is actually about a MLM, and I'll explain to you what that is for those who don't know. An MLM company that was selling leggings. Leggings as in the tights and the leggings that we women wear. So the company is LuLaRoe, ROE. And I think that name was named after her 2 granddaughters, right?
Yeah, the initials.
Absolutely. And so the owner is Deanne and her husband is Mark, and they work together. And we've even said here on this show that we love husband and wife teams, just like mother and daughter teams, right?
Yeah.
So the name of the company is LuLaRoe, and it is an MLM. For those of you who don't know what a MLM is a multi-level marketing company.
Please tell me what the difference is between that and the pyramid scheme, just for people that try to compare them so much.
I am so glad you asked. A pyramid scheme is when I say, I'll give you an example. A pyramid scheme is where I'm not selling anything, but I'm taking your money with a promise that you're going to make millions. But I'm not selling you anything, so it's untangible, meaning that it's pretty much a ghost. Once you gave me that money, it disappeared. I either show you through dividends that I doubled your money. It's almost like that statement that we say in the hood, you putting 20 on 10. It's almost like that. So you give me the money, you never see it again, and you just hope. With this particular company, a multi-level marketing company, is that you have a product to sell. You buy into the company to be able to be a certified distributor, because you can't walk into any other store to purchase this particular thing, right? So you purchase an inventory to start your store or your company or whatever, and you purchase them for a small price, you sell them for a premium price. So you're purchasing at wholesale and selling at retail. So now everything is in the hands of you to become whatever paycheck you want to write, you write it. But your job is that you got to sell. What people forget in an MLM is that not only are you supposed to sell, but you're supposed to recruit, and you're supposed to be able to run a team. So the difference in the two is, one, you're putting your money in something hoping that they're going to flip it for you and make you richer. The other one is you're purchasing product, marking the product price up, and you're making money off of that. So this, in my opinion, was not a pyramid scheme, but that it was truly a multi-level marketing company. I learned so much by watching this documentary. One thing I learned is that if you are going to join an MLM, you need to ask where you are on the pyramid. But meaning, are you at the top? Are you in the middle? Or are you 13 people below? Which the man said, if you're 13 down on the pyramid, and that means the level of where you can fit in as a buy-in, if you're that far down, there's no clients for you. You never make any money on it because you've already saturated out your community.
But see, where a lot of people like me get confused, because like for an example, it says pyramid schemes are not only illegal, they're a waste of time and money, of course. But it says because pyramid schemes rely on recruitment of new members to bring in money. That's where most people get confused on how they're...
Well, the reason why they get confused on it is because they hear that word recruitment, to bring money. But where they not thinking about is, but you have a product to sell. So I gave you something tangible more than a dream and a hope. I gave you a product to sell. With a pyramid scheme, like
one
what they do,
like
for example, Bernie Madoff, people gave him, I'm going to just make this number up, people gave him $100 million and said, hey, flip that and turn it into $150 million for me. So once they handed him that money, he did not hand them a product back. He handed them a dream. Right?
Because those people invested. They didn't get
invested.
Yeah.
With this particular type of company, you're going to put in a small investment for your inventory, for your training, for your what they call, and this is a word that, and when I tell you I can't stand it, I think it is the number 2 word on my list of I can't stand words. Onboarding is a word I cannot stand. And the reason I can't stand it is because I am such an entrepreneur that I don't like corporate terminology. Corporate terminology bores me. Even with these individuals buying into this company, they should have never called it onboarding, because it's such a corporate term that I just, it literally, it makes me ache to hear that word. I don't like onboarding. So anyway, that's the difference, is that when somebody does a pyramid scheme and they take your money and don't give you anything in return until they hopefully get the dividends up, that's the difference. With this one, they basically did the same thing. Let's say today,
because multi-level, when you think of pyramid, you're thinking different levels, and
that is the element that they share together, is that there is a level of getting you to the top. So if you don't have people under you that are also selling, where you get a percentage, in this case I think they got 5% of everything that they sold. So let me set it up for you. You start your own shoe company. Okay, you're doing gangbusters on selling those shoes, and you're like, but I'm only one person.
Gangbuster.
Hey, let me be my old self. Okay, let me talk like I want to talk. I am not 20, boo-boo. I'm about to earn my 50 badge in 2022. Leave me alone. You can't
I'm trying to focus, but this
can't
slang.
tell me nothing, girl. Okay, so listen. you're selling shoes and you're doing gangbusters on it. Like, you can't even duplicate yourself if you tried, and you're like, oh my God, I have more people ordering. I'm starting to get a bad reputation online because I can't even get the orders out. I promised them they're going to get the shoes this week, and I can't get them to them for a month. So then you say, let me ask my mom if she wants to work this business with me. And I'm like, what do you mean? Okay, if you come in and help me and you set up your own shoe company up under me, I'll take the women's shoes, you take the men's shoes. Then you get your sister and she gonna take the kids' shoes, right? All the money trickles back to you as the owner, right? We get a percentage. That's still a pyramid scheme in the eyes of recruiting.
So multi-level
just means that there's multiple levels of ways that the top person makes money off of all the other people. You don't make money if your team is not making money.
And they both recruit, except one you don't get inventory.
They both recruit. Just one, you don't get a product up front. You just get a hope and a dream. Exactly.
Like those people, people be following me or like try to add me, and they'll be like, it's the startup is like $500,
Yes.
and like, oh look, I just made $5,000 by getting 3 people under me. Like,
Exactly.
what?
So that is what confuses people, is that they have some of the same terminology, they have some of the same setup, but it's just one did not give you an opportunity to go sell some. Because eventually, think about it, if you were selling the shoes, if you bought the shoes from a foreign country and you paid $5 for them, but you sold them for $70, you just made a good markup, right?
Yeah.
But if you hand me over $100,000 and tell me to flip it and I don't give you anything in return, and I change my phone number and move over to Bali, and you never hear from me again, what did you get? You lost $150 million. Okay. So that's the difference. That's why I will say, in my opinion, this is Dawn's opinion, I don't feel like they were a pyramid scheme, but I do feel like that they used the exact formula of what an MLM is. Personally, I've never done an MLM. The reason why I personally never did an MLM is because 2 reasons. One, every person that ever came after me to ask me to do one, beg me to do one, coax me to do one, try to slip and slide and get me to do one, they always made me ask too many questions. And if I ask more than 3 questions, we're not going to work together. Because that means you're not explaining it properly enough to me for me to understand what you need me to do to help you. I've had people say, hey, I'd like to take you out for tea just to get to know you and find out a little bit more about your business. And then I get there and they have a whole folder about if I recruit this many people, and it turns me off, I leave. So I never did an MLM. Also, the second reason is because when you buy into an MLM, and I know for those who do MLM, you are not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm just giving you my opinion and we're going to be done with it. When you buy into an MLM, you don't own anything but the inventory that you purchased with that buy-in. Because if you pay $10,000 today and you didn't know that the company was going through a litigation and they go out of business tomorrow, you just spent $10,000. And now you have $10,000 worth of tights you need to sell, or shoes you need to sell, or hair you need to sell. So that's why I never did an MLM, because I still felt like there would never be any ownership. And I will also confess that prior to me hearing about this company, I had never heard of them before. You want to know how I heard about them?
How?
I was watching Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald. You may not know her, but she used to be on the Chelsea Lately show for years. She has her own show now on YouTube called The Juicy Scoop. And so she was talking to somebody, and she happened to mention that she was watching this series on Amazon Prime, and it was called LuLaRoe. And she said something about, she mentioned something that happened, and I was like, I never heard of that. So I went to Amazon Prime and just typed in Lula Rich, and I started watching, and oh my God, it sucked me in so good that I was just excited. I said, oh my God, this is right up my alley, talking about anything that pertains to business, because I look at things in a different way. If I'm talking to an individual about individual issues, people issues, I'm thinking of you in that way. But when we're talking about business, I put my business thinking cap on, and that's the only way I can think about things, because that's the way my brain works.
Yeah, and I've experienced I've experienced being with a company that I felt like they tried to go towards the whole multi-level marketing thing,
Really?
but it turned into a pyramid scheme.
What were they trying to sell?
Kitchenware,
Oh,
knives and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I was saying that interview I went on, and I went and I saw 5 classmates, and
'Cause
then
they had sent all
everybody
the
at
other letters
school
in
was
the
happy
mail.
because they got job opportunities, and it was the same job.
Did they ask you to buy anything? Like buy in?
I can't remember. I think so though, but that's why I think looking after this documentary, I feel like the company was meant to be an MLM, but a lot of people I can see why they felt like it was a pyramid scheme. Towards the end, Because you can see they did really good at the beginning, but I just think that the business got too big for them to handle the quality, to control the quality of the products that they was paying for.
Were they quality products or cheap?
You talking about the documentary or the...
No, the thing that they tried to suck you into.
I didn't even go that far to even get the stuff.
Oh, because you recognized it.
But when you look on their little pamphlet stuff, it looks expensive stuff, but they swear you don't have to do door to door. But I mean,
when you got that letter in the mail, I was often wondering, how did they get the list of every single graduating kid in the school? So what it made me think is that the school sold a list somewhere.
Yeah,
a company called them and said, hey, we'd like to buy a list of all your seniors, and we're just talking about job opportunity, and we want to make sure every kid is working. And they purchased those lists, because how is it that every single person in your graduating class got that same little scheme thing in the mail? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I have 3 tips for people who, even today, because I would say if this is your thing, then make it your thing. It's not my thing, but that's a personal thing. And plus I have my own businesses, so it's like I don't need to think about this. But I would say any business that you're going to get involved in, that you need to understand the business structure behind the scene, and you need to ask questions like, how does that look from my end? What does that mean for me? What do you expect from me? Because some people said that when they bought into the company, that they didn't realize that they were going to have to buy product every month. You have to buy product every month to have an inventory. It's like if you opened up a Victoria's Secrets. You're not going to open up the store empty and let people make orders. No, you want me to walk in, find my size, buy it, and leave, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have inventory, because this is your own in-home store or your own store building. You have to have products. So why would you not be buying? You should be always buying, because you should be always out of products.
I can't remember though, when they paid that fee up front, did it come with the inventory? But how much was it?
Remember in the documentary, once you paid your fee, it was to onboard you, the word I don't like. It was to get you acclimated to the team and what was expected. It was a training, and then you got your big box of inventory, which was several $1,000s worth of tights that you could turn. Because like, remember that one lady from Houston, she said when they got their box, they made $47,000 the first month. So if you paid $5,000 to get into a business, but you made $47,000 a month, I think you won.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're talking realistically here, because let's say you bought the tights for $10, but you sold them for $30. You won.
Yeah, but how did they think that they didn't need new inventory every month, though?
That's a great question. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, when you think about
I think that they probably thought that whole box was going to last them to reach whatever 40,000 they might have done. That's what I'm saying.
If you sold $47,000 worth of tights, you should have an order in so fast you can't even turn your head fast enough to get the hit the send button, because you want to make another 47. They said their third or second month they made $119,000, because they figured out, oh my God, people are buying. So anyway, the next tip the first one was understand the business structure behind the scenes and what's expected of you, so that before you drop that cash, you're not complaining later. And then the next thing I just have to say, and this is hard for a lot of women to do, is stop bandwagoning. Stop getting on the bandwagon just because you saw Sally do it, then Susie want to do it, and Nicole want to do it next, and all these other people. If it is not for you, it's not for you. I don't care how many of the ladies in your community are doing it. And I do know that there's some slick salespeople out here that'll say, girl, I made $40,000. What'd you say that person told you? Oh, I made $50,000. I made $500,000. I made whatever. Stop looking at what other people do it and compare it to yourself, unless you know you really, really can do it. But that's after you go back to what I said first. Know the business structure. Don't just look at what everybody else have, because that's the number one common thing I saw through from episode 1 to episode 4, was that everybody wanted to have what everybody else wanted to have. But then when they got big, now they wanted to have what the owner, Deanne, had. Yeah. They wanted to have her 6 Mercedes. They wanted to have her however many billions of dollars. They wanted to have her success. And if you are a woman and you are going into a business because you want to be like another woman, do not go into that business, because you are not that woman. You are not on her trajectory. You don't have her same blessing. You're going to get a different one. Maybe better, maybe less. Don't matter. You're not going to be that person. So that bandwagoning, that annoys me. And then the last point I would say, know what works for you and your family. The one lady said, they stole from me because I spent my last money to get in. No, you and your husband made a decision that y'all were going to buy into this because somebody told you how many millions you could make potentially, and you bought in. You cannot say that somebody tricked you into it, because Never in the
Yeah.
whole documentary did I hear anybody say that they got cold calls from people begging them to get in. What they did is you called in and said you wanted to be a member, right? They put you on a waiting list and made you wait. What did she say? Sometimes 6 months. So you had 6 months to change your mind.
Yeah, but also,
They made them wait before they even recruited them in because it was a first come, first serve. Remember the girl said, well, I was number 44 or whatever number. I was number whatever on the list. And then my other friend was number so-and-so. So she said when they call me, oh, they're going to be calling her next.
yeah, they
chose to build that momentum.
Yeah, but also I thought it was kind of wild that like the description on there, they would be like trying to, like, so whatever, let's say it was $10,000 on there, like they said, $10,000 to start up.
Yeah.
They know 9 times out of 10 people don't have that money.
It doesn't matter.
So
That's
they'll
not
be
my
like,
problem.
I know, but if I was to, me personally,
You know what the $10,000 was for, right? You got more inventory. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but if I was somebody that go on the website right now and log in or sign up or whatever, it kills me when you try to do something and they'll be like, ask family member for money or help, or sign up for a credit card with no interest. Like, how are you gonna tell me where I can get this money from?
It's called business. It's the same way.
I understand, but
it's the
asking
same
family
way when
member,
you go and buy a car.
that's desperate to me.
It's okay. That's the way business runs behind the scenes. Because the thing is that they're going to either appeal to you or they're going to turn you off. It's the same way when you go buy a house. When you go and buy a house, they're going to have you to fill out this application. Now they have this thing where they say, do you qualify to live in this neighborhood? So if you brought me your last $300,000 to put down on this house, but you don't even make $1,300 a month, I'm going to tell you don't qualify here because you can't afford the homeowners, you can't afford to get the yard maintenance, and you can't afford to keep your house beautiful. So that means you don't qualify to live here. So what that means? You don't need to live there. That's their rules. So with these companies, that's why I said the first thing was know the structure of the business. So all they're telling you is that the only resources you do have is your family, or you have a job that'll pay for it, or people do finance. People finance businesses, right? Mm-hmm. I have a guy right now that I'm working with, and I'm doing a business proposal for him so that he can work with the SBA. And when he takes that proposal in there, he's asking them for $25,000 startup to go to one of their certified banks. He needs the startup money to start his courier service. So people finance businesses all the time on loans. This company did the same thing. They said, it's $5,000 to join. We're going to give you this much inventory to potentially earn you $47,000 in your first month if you hustle. Then you can pay your loan back in no time. So what's wrong with that?
I just think that if they was already in a bind financially and they wanted to sign up for something, if they had the option to choose to ask their family, they would have, or sign up for a credit card, they would have. Like, I know this time last year, I wasn't even able to pay my phone bill on time or period. And they'll be like, well, have you tried asking a family member? If I had anybody that would have asked, I wouldn't be at this point right now. So I guess it just depends on different people's situation. But I just thought that was quite odd.
Yeah.
Not surprised, but I found it quite odd.
And another disclaimer for those of you that are listening, you and I have none of the same opinions.
Never.
We don't think alike. We don't talk alike. We don't do anything alike. We have a lot of things that we are creating commonality with, but we don't have the same thought process. So when you say that, I can only look at this from the business standpoint of knowing what I know, and I can only comment from there. But I just know that behind the scenes, when you want something bad enough, like a business that's going to change your life. Look at that one lady said, when she started the business, she was on welfare. And she was on housing assistance and food stamps. But she sacrificed, and her mother, I'm going to tell the story right, her mother gave her the down payment. And she still works for the company now, and she's still happy. She said, within a year, I was able to buy a home in the suburbs in a very nice neighborhood. She's completely can take care of her family. She had a beautiful home, and she still works for the company today. The words that she said is that it changed her entire life because she thought she was going to be stuck on welfare forever. So that's somebody right there that I would say they had the guts to trust themselves to start a business that they made it work for themselves.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And so my point is that I don't care what's happening in your life. You either are going to make it happen or you're not. I don't care if you can't pay your phone bill. You either going to make it happen or not. And this lady made it happen, so we know it's true.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, for my experience, like, if I was in a place where I was down and out, something to me would scream out 2 words, like, as desperate or like a scam, because it's just what.
So you think it's a scam for someone to tell you to go get an investment to start a business to change your life? it's a scam for them to give you suggestions on
I'm just
how to
saying
go
the way
get the
that
money?
like, I'm just saying, don't tell me how to go get the money or suggest. I think it's just the way that they worded it it wouldn't have made me feel comfortable.
You went on the thing and did it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
didn't see it.
I went on the
Okay.
yeah.
Well, the truth is, you know, when you start these MLM companies, you are really an independent contractor, meaning you have to pay your own taxes and everything. So you're solely responsible for, like I said, writing your own check and making sure that you can have enough people to continue to sell to. The one thing I do like is that they had different inventory all the time, but you don't own an MLM, because again, if that company goes out of business, you can now get no more of the product to be able to sell, to be able to write your check, to be able to have a living. So you have no stock in it, you have no say-so in what orders you get, you have no say-so in anything. The only thing people need to understand is that the rules of these MLMs is that you're paying money to become a part of something exclusive. We're going to send you inventory to get you going so you can start selling, and then your responsibility is to continue to order every month so that you can continue to sell and make money. It's the same thing if you join an association. Let's say we join a women's group. The first thing they're going to say is, here's what our group is about. Read it online. Here's how much money it costs to join. Now that you're a part of this exclusive group, we're going to invite you to monthly meetings. But guess what? Don't those monthly meetings cost?
True, but if I'm also
And
putting
I'm only
all this
getting a
money
little salad
down,
and bread usually.
yeah, but if I'm putting all this bread down to get inventory, I would like my inventory to be in good shape and not have weird printings on the crotch area either.
Yeah, well, and we're going to get to that part because that happens with every single company.
I think it
I've gone
happens
to
when
Walmart and I've
the
gotten
company's too big.
I've gone to Walmart and I've gotten a case of paper, opened up took the straps off of the box, supposed to be everything new, and got in there and some of the paper was busted open. I didn't complain.
And that's not a problem to me, but when almost thousands of people have the same issue, it's like, okay, what are y'all doing? Is the company getting too big where y'all can't control the quality of the stuff?
No, it seems to me that, like what they said, that they were busting out of the seams of that 120,000 square foot building. They ended up putting that inventory on the outside, and that I think that stuff got rained on or something, even though they had it in containers. But every company will make mistakes behind the scenes. We will make mistakes behind
But that's
our
common
scenes.
sense, though. Why would you have apparel sitting outside
But
like
common
that?
sense to you is not common sense to everyone.
Y'all could have bought a storage.
Common sense to you is not common sense to everybody else. We got to think. We all different people. Like, I'm not you, and you're not me, so we don't think alike, right?
That's wild to me. I'm just saying, I would be upset if I bought something from Shein and it's been sitting outside and it's moldy when I get it, and I'm
Well, we're
finna
not
go
even
to.
going to talk about them because they have never sent me anything that I've ever liked.
Well, this stuff is a hit or miss.
They've literally sent me phallus paralysis clothes.
Yeah, but
That's what
also
they
you
have
don't
sent
like
me.
to look at the reviews and see the quality.
Well, it's not
either.
that. They still sent me
This
trash.
stuff be hit or miss.
Yeah, so
but
their stuff is trash
you like
to
the
me.
stuff that I be wearing?
Well, yeah, but again, but see, there you go. See, for the people who still work for this MLM right here, they still love this company and are making a living. You still buy stuff from Shein, whereas when I got the stuff, it was trash, but you have a great experience, and every single thing that I've seen you in looks absolutely great on you. The quality is good. It accentuates whatever you're trying to do. It looks good on you. But I have never, like the skirt you have, I like the ruching on it.
Mm-hmm.
That one butterfly blouse fits you perfect. The 2 shirts that they sent me were just absolute trash. But anyway.
I've spent almost $600 with them, and I got maybe one shirt that I just put to the side because it was bad quality, as far as, cheap quality. But anyway.
Well, I'll tell you why a lot of people also join an MLM, because I've been to a lot of their meetings where people have tried to recruit me. My first negative experience with an MLM, I think I was probably in my early 20s, and a girl asked me to come to a ladies' luncheon. And I like brunches and lunches and all that stuff, and at that time I did a lot of networking outside of the house. Mm-hmm. And she invited me to this luncheon just to get there to see that it was an MLM. I'm not going to say what it was, but again, it's focused on women. And I got there, and it was an MLM, and she was trying to recruit me and brought me the paperwork as if I was just going. She never asked me. She never introduced it to me. She just brought me to the lunch. I was networking, and people loved me, and we talked and everything. And then she just slid the paperwork over to me like, go ahead and sign up. And I looked at her and I said, what is this? And she said, well, this is my group, blah, 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 blah. And, it only costs X amount of Z. And I said...
You just slid me a paper without even telling me that first? After I had to ask you, what is this?
We never had a conversation after that, because I said, if you're this type of person, we don't need to be friends. Because this should have been a conversation, because you've been talking to me about everything else, but you couldn't tell me this. I was done. One thing I will say about an MLM for those who still want to get in on any type of company, I'll be honest with you. If I liked MLMs, I probably would get in on this one right now, even after seeing the doc. I'll tell you why later. But for anybody who is actually interested in MLMs and know that they work, because there are some really, really great ones out there that I've bought products from. But again, I'm not an MLM person, so I'm not going to be one of their recruit people.
I actually almost was about to join one that was kind of like that now that I think about it.
Products? What kind of products?
It was adult products from somebody we know that I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm. So MLMs, they do have some of the best enthusiastic connections that you could ever meet, and people that can really teach you something, because they're people from all walks of life. Whether you join one that's all women focused or you join one that is focused on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Also, MLMs events, nobody can match them. Remember I said to you one time, I said, man, I have been to some of the best concerts, but there is no show better than a drag show. Didn't I tell you that?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I told you there's no show better than a drag show is because they don't hold back, and they put on a show that is like no other. I don't care about the stigma. I don't care what you have to say. I have not been, and you know I love me some Lil Boosie concerts, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one drag show that I went to in my entire life, and I went because I was doing a fashion show and we were looking for, different impersonators and all that stuff. So I went to this drag show one time. Let me tell you something. Where was that at? The M bar?
F bar.
The F bar. I always say M bar.
I know.
The F bar. And that was the best drag show I ever went to in my life. Matter of fact, that show trumps every concert I ever went to since I was 16.
First one I went to was in Dallas.
Hype.
I went to one in Dallas.
Was hype. So the events for MLM is what I'm about to tell you. I have been to just about every personal development seminar, every hype, every peak potentials, every Napoleon, all of that. Nothing trumps these MLM events. They are the most hype. They are the most motivated. They are the most camaraderie you've ever seen in one room. So that is another reason people love them. You cannot beat the entertainment. Like in this doc, who they say they had at their events? They had Mario Lopez.
Katy Perry.
They had Katy Perry. I like how the lady said, we had Katy Perry's.
You don't even know who
she
that
was
is.
Giving, she was giving me Tammy Faye Baker vibes like a
Did you notice their body language during the whole documentary?
Uh-huh.
Like how they were mirroring each other. Like if they had their arm like that, they both had their arm like that.
It's called media training.
Or if it was like that.
It's called media training.
I also paid
That's
attention.
very professional. It's media training. But yeah, the entertainment is off the chain, and the networking is second to none. The networking with an MLM is second to none. You're going to meet people from all walks of life. The lady said she went from welfare to owning her first home in a ideal neighborhood within a year.
And then what happened to her after that?
She still worked for the company. She was the one at the end that said, I'm still at the company, I still love it, and I'm earning. She was the one with the yellow pill and the red pill. She was the one. You also need to know that when you're with an MLM, you're a follower and not a leader.
Exactly.
You're a follower to follow along with that method. You're only a leader to the people you're selling to.
I could not put 5 to 10, 20K into something if it's not my own business. That's my own,
I could if it's going to bring me the results that I want. So I'm not even worried about that. The money that you put down, I mean, think about the expenses we've already spent with this podcast. Every company has an expense. It doesn't really matter how you break it up. There's an expense. So let's say you decided to start a hair company today,
I can see that, but I wouldn't have that as my sole thing of income like how they did. Because you never
some
know
people
if
don't know how to
crash,
but some people don't know how to multitask. Though, listen to what you're saying. I want you to really think about what you just said. Let's say you go get a 9-to-5 job tomorrow at the hospital, and they paying you $40,000 a year just to get started. Let's just throw that number. It's not a big number to some people. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say the hospital shut down. You put all your eggs in baskets into a 9-to-5, didn't you? So why is it that people will say, I'm not putting my eggs in basket? I mean, all my eggs in one basket, but they'll go put all their eggs into one basket of a 9-to-5 that could fire you tomorrow if you decide you don't want to get something they want you to get.
But just as easy as you can get fired at a 9-to-5, you can also crash if the company crashes too.
But wouldn't you have rather trusted in yourself than a 9-to-5? That's my point.
Yeah, but trusting yourself is not this like how they're putting their money into this MLM. That's not.
How is that not?
Because it's not their own company.
It is to them, though. They're a retailer store.
Yeah, no.
That's what I'm saying. You have to know the business structure. Oh, it is in their name because they go get a DBA and they turn it into ABC leggings and more. And it is their company, so they do have a DBA, and they do start their own retail store. Again, when you sell a product, you're not going to tell people that you got it from Alibaba, are you?
No.
Exactly. So when you get your DBA and you buy your products from Alibaba, you put your name on them, right? And then you sell them to your customers. It's the same thing. They bought into a business, they got a DBA, they bought a product, they sold it and doubled their money.
Yeah, they were doing very well in the beginning, I can say. That's really...
Here's what the problem was. I felt like the problem was that the bad products should have been corrected immediately. There should have never been any bad products at any time. And I don't think anybody should have waited to be able to send their product back to get so many cancel orders to go back.
I think it starts off with the designers, too. Like the graphic designers. I don't know if they were either pushing them too hard or didn't have enough. But they went from maybe having, for an example, having to do 3 designs a day to like 50, 100. So imagine how much they were probably rushing and not even going over their work. I don't think I paid attention to how many I only saw one girl talk about being the graphic designer there. And how they had to change the design so they wouldn't get sued and stuff like that.
Well, they changed the designs because they didn't want the same designs rotating over and over. They wanted to always have new products so that if I'm your customer for a year, don't try to sell me the same stuff. I'm going to be always looking for your new inventory. Just like when we go in a store, the reason why you'll go into Ross is because all of the other stores have given them the stuff from last season. So you're not going to go into Kohl's and see Jennifer Lopez's clothes as, from 2 months ago or last season because they've already gotten rid of it and sent it on somewhere else. So the other problem I feel like is the complaint about the $5,000 fee that they agreed to pay. Why complain about something you agreed to pay for?
That's true.
The other problem I saw was that they said that they didn't know the structure of the business and that they felt like they were coaxed into a pyramid scheme. How is it possible that you trusted somebody with $5,000 to start your business and you didn't know that you had to recruit people when they told you up front that it was about recruiting? It was about you getting in and buying your inventory, you recruiting people, and you growing to a director or whatever.
Yeah, they thought
How
they were
can
just
you
going
get
to pay.
amnesia later?
They thought they were going to pay a fee for a certain amount of inventory to just sell, but they felt pressure that they had to get people under them and then people under them, and that'd be the problem for most people is find clientele.
The reason why I never got involved in the MLM is because my friends are not for sale. And in any MLM, the first thing they tell you is name 10 friends or family members that you can go sell something to right now. So if I had candles, then I could say, Angie, would you buy a candle for $10? Even though I paid $3. Will you buy a candle for $10? You're not going to know what I paid. You just don't think it's... You either... See, the thing about it is that I either value it at that price or I don't. And if I don't, that's fine.
But that's different. I could buy a candle for you for $10, but the question is, am I going to want to be under you to sell candles to people I know?
No. We're just talking about phase 1 right now. Go to your 10 friends and family. So I'm going to go to you. I'm going to go to everybody in the family. I'm going to go to 10 people. And
that's like what we used to do in school with the fundraisers.
And that's why I never let y'all do them.
Yeah, that's
remember
exactly
I told you,
what that
remember
reminds
I used
me
to tell y'all I do not like fundraisers.
That's what's turning me off about this.
I don't want you going door to door. I don't want you asking me to ask your grandma to buy cookies. I don't want you asking me to take it to my friends that don't... Remember I used to tell y'all...
It was cookie dough, chocolate, toys.
Remember what we used to do? I would get the paper and I would order up stuff just so that y'all would have something on the paper so y'all would stop feeling like y'all were not a part of what everybody else was doing. Yeah. But then at some point I got to the point, like, they need to understand that they don't have to do what everybody else is doing. And I stopped doing it because I wanted to teach y'all that you don't have to be a bandwagoner. So I never liked that.
Yeah, that's
so my friends are not for sale, or my family is not for recruiting. Also, I never joined because you have zero ownership. You only have ownership in the DBA that you started in the yeah. So you have no ownership. If you see, here's the thing: if they really wanted ownership, what they would have done, and I hate to say this, being behind the scenes and not being a member and have never heard of this company before this, but if they were smart, they would have looked at how the company structure was, and they would have saw the tights, and then they went and hired a group of people who sew, and they would have created their own tights, and they would have sold it and had their own company. Why would you want to have to depend on buying a bulk of something and paying $5,000?
People be scared to take that leap of faith.
My point exactly. But then they want to blame somebody else who gave them an opportunity. So if they go under, you go under. So you don't own anything. Also, don't want to be, they don't want to be, don't feel like you wanted to be forced to buy something every month. But if you don't buy something every month, you don't have inventory to sell.
Or a bonus check.
Yeah. So, with the MLM, questions they should be asking is, ask where you are in the downline, because the guy on there, the analyst, he said it's 13 levels, and he said if you get to level 13, you've passed the population of earning, meaning there is literally nobody else who cares about what you're doing. Most people already got a person who sells them this product, or sells them that, or whatever. Because I know there's a couple of essential oil companies that I've bought essential oil from, and they weren't cheap at all, but they were so wonderful. And they're just like, I always call them, like, some of them are like the side hustler in the hood. They'll give you the one for free, and then they know you coming back because you like it, right?
Yeah, that's like, what's her name? Khalees. She has a beauty brand thing, and I was about to support her, but I was like, $98 for 3 products? But then when you think about it, she gets her stuff from Asia and China, like hard stuff to find, like the oils and stuff to put in her face balm stuff. But
And the thing about buying anything from any person, I know for me as a woman, what will make me buy is, do I know you? Do I trust you? Have I seen great results? And I don't mean these comments that people put on websites and stuff, because we know you can buy comments, right? You can buy, people to like your products. You can buy people to do a video and fake. You can do that. But what I'm saying is, how do I feel about what you're using? How transparent are you with the ingredients on the back? Like, for instance, remember I was telling you about that that liquid blush that, depending on what pigmentation you have in your skin, I really still want to try that one.
Or I thought it went off the temperature too.
Yeah, it's got a whole scientific thing. I like the fact that they showed you how they scientifically came up with it. It's like $36, and the tube is smaller than a lipstick tube, so that's why I hadn't jumped on it, because I'm like, I'm gonna put that on my wish list, because I don't know if it's gonna work, and I don't want to pay $40, with tax and everything, and then it doesn't give what it promised. So, but it's amazing how some of them mention that the owner and her family had the 6 Mercedes lined up. And honestly, when I heard them say, oh yeah, we would get to work and we would know they were there because you would have 6 Benzes, and they named what type of Benz. I'm not a Benz girl, so I wouldn't even ever know the name of it. If it was a BMW, I could tell you everything about it. But, and I thought to myself, so what? You can't get into a company where somebody has spent their blood, sweat, and tears and their money to invest in $1 billion company. Can you imagine what goes on behind the scenes to make it that way? You cannot get into a company and then think that you're going to trump the owner. I felt like that was jealousy. How did you feel about it? Like, some of the comments
I used to be like that at work. It'd be people that be slacking at work, so they knew how to start acting or do what they needed to do by the car that was pulling up. Like, I knew at my last job, my last 9 to 5, if my boss was there, because I'd see a Maserati out there, or if his twin brother was there.
Did you ever feel jealous? Like, man, they making all this money and they only paying me X.
To be honest, I never even seen a Maserati, so it took me about 2 months to even find out what kind of car it was. But I wasn't jealess by it.
See, these
but
people,
it made me think, because
there was a little animosity and jealousy when the way they described it was like, everybody drove a Benz. It would be like 6, and they named the type, and I don't know what kind of Benz it was. It would be like 6 Benzes, lined up, so we knew they were. So what?
Only thing that made me think about it,
their cars were lined up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I just thought at the end of me being at that job, like, okay, I know you have a Maserati, and the type of work that you're asking me to do does not match my pay. Not that it should match yours.
I was gonna say, it's not supposed to.
I'm not saying it should even be close to his, but I'm just saying, like, what you offer me is bottom of the barrel. And it's not matching the work that I'm getting. Not even matching. And I don't care about the car that you got. You can pull up in a Camry, a 2002 Camry. But I'm just saying.
You want to know my opinion on that as a business owner? My opinion on that is people shouldn't accept jobs like that then. If you feel like you should be paid more than what you accepted, don't accept the job. Because when you came in and
that's why I negotiated.
Yeah, and when you came in and you agreed to this, then you agreed to it forsaking all else. Even if I had 50 Maseratis and 25,000 homes, you accepted this pay. That's why I love it when people know how to say no, or at least know how to negotiate, because at least you're saying, well, I think I'm worth more than this. People don't understand. But so what I do admire about the lady that started the company is that she started with herself. And then another lady that she sold a box full of tights to sell to the people in her community that never heard of it. She went to number 2, then 3. When it was all said and done, they were way over 15,000 women.
And she knew what crew to have, like she knew what crew to go to, like what type of women that would
I
be
don't
into.
necessarily think so. How'd you feel? How'd you get that message? Because they came to her. She never went to anybody.
I'm saying like as far. Oh, you mean like at the beginning when she first?
No. When you said that you felt like she knew who to recruit to, and I'm just like, she never recruited to anyone. They always.
No, I mean like to
they
sell,
saw what she wanted
stuff too,
and wanted what she had, and asked her how do they get in on it. Again, it's that syndrome of trying to keep up with the Joneses. I want what you have. She never went to these ladies and said, "Hey, you want to make some money?
Something about that gave me Stepford
I can make you $1 million."
vibes.
So she never did that. That's what I'm saying. Have you ever been in a situation where you had something that somebody wanted of yours and you felt like they were jealous of what you had?
I wouldn't say material wise, but it'd be like personality wise or like
This is a case of this is what I see, that these women, because some women can be catty like that. They saw what she was building and had, and they wanted in on it. They wanted more of the more that they had. My opinion. These women talked to their husbands and their families, and they agreed to it as a business model. Okay. Mm-hmm. The friends that they brought in to do it, they agreed to do it as well. One lady said that she felt bad that she brought in like 15 people, and then when everything went bonkers, she lost those friends. Now they're starting to be back friends, but they blamed her for their business not working. Well, if you don't work the business will absolutely not work.
And that's a big responsibility, getting your family and friends involved in that kind of stuff.
They paid for a business and agreed to the model because the contract, I'm sure, was heavy. I would love to see the contract.
And the policy that they had that changed.
The policy and procedure, and when they say that dumb word onboarding, I bet they got a bag full of books, and I would love to know who read every single page.
I don't think many people did.
They also seemed happy to be earning the money in the beginning until a few things went wrong. And I'll tell you in a minute some other things that I felt. And I'm going to tell you what I felt like was the last straw to some of these people. Some of the great comments that I heard in the beginning part, like around episode 3 or something, two or three, they said that the leggings were thick. They were super comfortable.
They said buttery soft.
When she said that, I wanted a pair. She said they were buttery soft. They were a perfect fit to anybody. Now, when you start talking about different women's sizes, that right there, the buttery soft and perfect fit to any size, pregnant women will be wearing them. Everybody be wearing them. They were super soft. It said that they loved the fact that they could own their own inventory, that they could set up a retail store in their home. The one lady say she took her son's what did she say? She took her son's nursery and turned it into the retail shop. Mm-hmm. So that when she did her house parties, remember that house party we went to?
I do. I don't even remember her, but I know she had a clothing thing. Yeah,
she had a clothing.
It's the same thing.
It started with a C, but I don't know the name. She did that for more than 10 years. I don't know if she's still doing it.
She had some cute stuff, but she also did she have people under her?
It's yes.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Absolutely.
Those parties were fun, though.
The parties are fun. You're supposed to make them fun so that people spend their money
and get
Remember
nice
they used to do those
all you gotta do is have alcohol there. You don't even have to have no snacks.
It wouldn't work for me because I don't drink, so it don't matter. But my point is, remember the parties that they used to have? What they call them? Romance parties?
Passion parties?
Yeah, passion party. And they used to have male strippers. They would have alcohol and they would have food. And when you would come to the party, you would be there to buy the products, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same MLM, same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The only one I would have done is one celebrity that we know. They have a MLM with adult products.
Somebody said that they felt like the company was more commercial, and it said it felt commercial and not competitive.
Yeah.
Some of them said that that they were able to change their status in less than a year. Some of them said that they were happy that they could have their business in their home and be with their family. Some of them said that they were able to recruit their friends and families and help them to make money. Some of them said that they experienced, and these are their words, they experienced explosive growth and explosive catastrophic growth. Okay.
I wonder if any of them ever invested their money into something. Because, I mean, if you're making that much at the beginning, I definitely have to invest that in something. Because you never know how long this ride gonna be, you know? Like the one couple or that one lady that said she got, what, 100,000 of her bonus?
Her husband, yeah.
Like,
Because
what
he
did
quit
you
his
do with
job
that?
and everything.
Like, what did you do
So,
with that?
I think a lot of them also had the syndrome of if you can, I can. Because you notice a lot of them said, you know, if she can do it, then
And
I
they
can do
all
it.
had the same story, wanting to be home more with their kids, and you know.
And I made a note here and I said, if you get onboarded, and I underlined it, you are offered a job. Anytime you get onboarded, you are being offered a job. Onboarding is a corporate speak term, and that is on period. That I can't even say that any more than anything. So then the next thing is the different levels they had. They had the you sell, you become a sponsor, you become a trainer, then you become a coach, and then you become a mentor. So
Mentor
that's
to the
1,
top, yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5 down, and that's
Levels.
a model for your commissions. So a lot of them, here's where the last straw came in. They changed the structure on how they were giving out them bonuses checks.
Yeah, the policy.
They changed the policy and people got mad because what they were doing is they were gaming the system. Because the policy thing, it said that they were getting bonus checks on how much inventory they were purchasing.
But the policy
and
changed
they changed
after.
it to how much you selling. Because see, I could go and order up $5,000 worth of inventory and then get a big bonus check, but never sell that inventory. So they kind of was trying to game the system. I felt. That's
And they
my
changed the
opinion.
policy after they was having issues with the inventory, like the quality and like when it was moldy and stuff. Then
Yeah.
they changed the policy.
Yeah. One lady said she admit that her management skills sucked. She said it. She said my management skills sucked. So at the end, I'm going to tell you what I feel like MLMs can do to correct this, and we're almost there. One lady said she felt like she was living like a rapper or athlete. That's how much money she was making. A lot of these people didn't have any management skills for growth possibilities.
And they wanted instant gratification so quick.
Okay.
And then when they got all that money, they got cars and houses. But like, what are you investing in? Because
Again, that's why she said she felt like a rapper or
cars
athlete,
got taken
because
away at the end.
that's why she felt like a rapper or athlete, because she didn't buy them. She was leasing. They were paying notes. If you're making $47,000 a month, you go buy a car. You don't lease or whatever. That's where a lot of the rappers and the athletes make a mistake, is they'll lease a house, they'll buy a house. I mean, they'll lease a car, they'll lease a house, and they'll have multiple leases all over. Before you know it, every month, $10 million is coming out of their account. They do it all the time, though.
You done made 40, 50, 100,000, and you telling me you didn't put that into a business that you wanted to do yourself?
People do it every day. Right now, I can tell you there is somebody who's working right now in this world who only bring in, I'm going to make this totally up, who only bring in, let's say, $2,500 a month. I promise you they not putting $200 away. And the excuse is going to be because they got too many bills and they don't have enough money left. Did you put 10 away? Everybody does this at some point until they learn better.
I ain't gonna lie, I just started doing that last year as far as putting money to
So
the
you
side.
know I'm saying it's true.
Yeah, but I was also living check to check. That's a difference. So,
That's everybody.
but if I was rolling in cash,
people who roll in cash, athletes roll in cash, don't they? Why do they go bankrupt a year after they get off the team?
well, because they be buying a bunch of stuff they don't need.
Okay, we're getting close to the end here with the solutions. I feel like the solutions would be to add some money management courses while you're onboarding people.
Yeah, that's
Show them, if you're bringing in this kind of money, put this aside for a rainy day fund, do this, do that, invest your money. Not tell them where to invest their money, but suggest that they should get an IRA or they should invest in something, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they should come up with some type of wealth strategies to show them. Because see, if you teach me how to save and invest in wealth strategy my money, I'm going to spend more money with you.
I think 9 times out of 10, those moms did not know how to do any of that.
That's why they need these kind of classes. The reason they need these classes is because if they don't have any management behind the scenes money saving skills, if you give me these classes, then I can make you more money if you make me more money and help me save money for my family.
call
Then
that
I
chain
will
reaction.
I will get you 50 more recruits to buy into your $5,000 MLM. But I don't know how to save money, so boom. That's what I feel like. I think that they should add personal development while you're onboarding me. Onboarding to me seems like you're going to teach me everything about how you want me to earn you some money, but you're not going to teach me how to save money to earn you money. That's what makes me mad about the word onboarding. One lady said that if Deanne told her to jump off of off of a cliff, she would.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Now, if somebody tell you to jump off a cliff, you gotta be almost like the biggest follower they would ever have.
They was desperate. A lot of them were very desperate, and they would do anything.
But why would you complain about somebody and you say, if Deanne told me to jump off a cliff, I would? You see, the other lady said she went and tried to get her stomach done, just because somebody else got their stomach done.
You know what I also thought? She was getting all those people to get to go to Tijuana or whatever. Was she getting some type of referral? Or did she get her surgery for free if she brought many people?
How would we ever know that? If I refer
I'm just
somebody,
saying, I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. We all do it. If I refer somebody somewhere and I'm going to get a kickback off of it, they don't need to know.
I'm just wondering, why are you so thirsty to get 10 to 15 women or however many you needed to get surgery? Because
I didn't feel like she was thirsty. I felt like she wanted them to look good in the clothing so that they could sell more, because we know when we see a woman who looks really beautiful in a dress and she's got a nice body, we either want the dress or we want the body. Come on, let's be honest.
But you also need to be realistic. There's some plus size black women, I'm sure, that are asking. I even saw in the comments, or like wondering, why is there like maybe on her whole page, I think it was like maybe 2 black people on a picture.
What does that matter?
No, I'm just saying, like, as far as size wise, they don't all have to be skinny. Like, you need to be realistic.
It's not about being skinny when you get your stomach done. It could just flatten you. Some people, they get their stomach done and it don't even work. I know 3 people right now who got the gastric thing and it didn't work for them.
Yeah, I know.
Because it make them so sick that they end up reverting back to getting the balloon taken out or whatever, however they get it done. My point is, just because you go get your body done, don't mean I have to get mine done unless I'm trying to be like you.
Exactly.
That's all. That is my point. I don't care if Deanne got $1,000 on every woman she sent to Tijuana. You can't make me do what you doing because I want what you want. Because I don't think like that. And that's why I felt like there was a lot of jealousy going on. Anyway, I felt like there was a lot of nitpicking. I thought there were a lot of nitpicking about Deanne's mom's book, and let her mama write the book that she want to write about how you should cater to your husband. That's not our business.
Oh, that was her mom? I didn't catch that part.
That book was written by her mom. I forgot her mom's name, but their last name was Startup. I thought that was awesome. But anyway, let her mom write whatever book she wants to write. I mean, I got an article that somebody sent to me, 100 ways to get a husband, and out of those 100 ways, I was like, wow, this is really 1920. I didn't knock it. I didn't say no way I'm ever going to do that. I just was like, wow, different women think different ways. I also saw that a lot of the women said they had home issues. They had issues with their marriages. They had issues with their earnings and their income. They didn't, and I don't feel like that was a LuLaRoe issue. I thought that was a personal issue, that they had problems with their husbands, and that then look, one thing I know about money is money don't make you anything but more of what you already were. So if you were already having problems, that money was not going to cure it. If you was already hateful and disgusting, the money ain't going to cure it. You're just going to be more hateful and disgusting. You can cover it up if you want to with money, but it ain't going to change you. So that wasn't a LuLaRoe problem.
That one lady said that she was telling Deanne about her home issues, and allegedly she was saying, well, you need a better husband. And then a lot of people were saying the same thing about where she was saying that, telling people that they weren't working hard enough, or if they had some issues. Like that one girl, she was another girl, but she had got a home and all this stuff, but when they crashed, she didn't do too good.
Right, because she said that she was spending more money on trying to keep up and go on the cruises, and
that's her problem.
Go to the conferences and go to this and participate in,
match her
showing
lifestyle.
Off. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
not a LuLaRoe problem, though, right? That's
that's
a you problem.
Yeah,
that's what I'm just saying. So anyway, every lie that I've always been told by somebody who tried to recruit me through an MLM, they always say, "Ooh, you can make big money. You only have to work 2 or 3 hours a week." That is a lie. When you build an MLM and let's say you want 40 people under you, it's going to take you years to get that done. It could take you a year if you really know a lot of people that are bandwagoners and that'll jump on anything. I know a guy right now here in Houston. He has been in so many MLMs, it's crazy. But do you know that he'll get 200 or 300 people in an MLM? When that MLM crashed, they follow him to the next one. I used to go to his seminars at the Galleria. Seminars were awesome. I would always ask to come to the seminars, but they knew I was never going to join. I would always ask because it just would be so awesome. So anyway, again, some of the problem was in the end was that the products got thinner. Some of the products got damaged because of the way they were storing them, and then the quality on them all of a sudden was lacking, and then the design department wasn't putting as much attention into the detail. Like, for instance, the one with the butterfly flying out of the crotch, the one with the flower petal right in the middle of the crotch, the one with the phallus that was coming out of the crotch, right? That means that somebody didn't go back, and before they printed 1 million of them, or 3,000, I think they said was their limit that they print for the world.
That's what makes me think, like, were y'all that overwhelmed?
Yeah.
Because Mark was asked that question, and he said that he flipped it, of course. He didn't. He pretty much said that they weren't, but I think that they were.
I did notice when I went over to their site that they've started now removing negative posts. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but not all of them, because I went through everyone.
They can't probably get to all of them, but I know they've started removing the negative posts, and I think I would too. I think that if people say negative things about you, and you still have people that are coming into your company that believe in the model.
When did that come out, the documentary?
I'm not sure. I just heard, like I said, I heard it a week or so ago on Juicy Scoop, and I just immediately, my spirit told me, you need to watch this, and because from a business standpoint, you're going to understand. So their experience is their experience, and I'm not saying that they did not experience that. I'm just saying that their experience is theirs alone, and that I feel like it could have been corrected other than going to litigation and making a whole documentary about it. I thought it was very smart, because now guess what? I know who LuLaRoe is.
Lala or Lula?
Whatever. Whatever. I know who they are now. I know exactly
it came out
who
this
they
year.
are now. Yeah. It said what? It came up what?
This year. It came out this year.
Oh, 2021? Okay, cool. Again, my friends are not for sale, so I would never want to participate in there, but I sure would like to, do some training to, teach them a little bit better. You got the big parties and all of that stuff that they do. I do think that they should have corrected the defective products a little faster. They should have gone back to the old refund policy, but I know why they changed it. Just from a business standpoint, you want me to tell you why? Because they were expending more money.
You didn't even let me answer the question.
No. They were expending more money than what they wanted to.
Yeah.
Because they realized that you could game the system. You could order up $200,000 worth of stuff, but now your bonus check is going to be way up there.
Yeah, this girl said she went from thousands to $800.
Yeah.
After they changed the policy.
That's a lot.
But they were saving themselves as a business, so.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, my last comment on this documentary is that I'm glad that they did it, because again, now I know who they are.
It was a pretty good documentary, actually.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to continue to follow this story, because I feel like it is so important to teach women the different ways to do business. I feel like it is so important to train women on how to sustain their money and their business and their products. I feel like it is so important for women to not just stick together, because sticking together to me almost sounds like bandwagoning, which I don't do, but I feel like it's there for us to have an opinion, to be able to share with each other. I'm not negating that these women felt like they felt, because they did, and that's theirs alone, that they felt. But what I'm saying from a business standpoint is the only way I'm speaking. These are not just personal opinions, but these are business opinions of what you should be watching out for going forward. Yeah, some people made a mistake and got into it, but then also some people go work a 9 to 5 and make a mistake doing that for somebody else as well. So there's mistakes on both ends that happen. I just love business, and that's just the way it is. I love business so much that I felt like I could have an opinion on this, and to give what I felt like the problem was, what the solution was, but then also look at the people who were very successful with it. And I know I'll remember these stories, for a long time, because as a business owner, these are things that we need to know about. An MLM can change your life. An MLM can make you rich. An MLM can retire your husband, as they said a lot in there. But then also, to every MLM out there, in your policy while you are onboarding, what you need to be doing is putting in a gag order in that contract. You need to be putting in an NDA in that contract, and you need to be putting in mediation and arbitration in that contract, so that you cannot be sued, so that y'all can work it out behind the scenes, and that nobody ever. So why do you think you don't hear anything about the folks who worked on Oprah? Why do you think?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying if they would have had an NDA, they wouldn't have had this documentary either. Right?
Exactly, which would have been, this wouldn't be our business to be talking about.
We wouldn't
but
have
now
known.
that it's in the public streets, it's our business now.
There's
So
too many
my point is-
thousands of women for them to, I feel like, even
Right.
monitor.
Right. So let's say you own your own makeup company and you have somebody come to your house because you're a makeup artist and you bought your makeup from Alibaba, right? But you put your name on it. It's all beautiful. It's perfect, right? But I come to your house and I get my makeup done. You don't know my body chemical, right? So then you do my face and I break out and I look like Will Smith when he was on that
Or
movie.
turn orange or
and
green.
his face broke out in them bubbles and he broke out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that happens to me and I sue you, won't you feel like, but I don't own this product, right? But when I walked in the door, you had me to sign a little paperwork that says that I release all responsibility to you. You didn't create these products, you just sell them. Didn't you just protect yourself?
Mm-hmm.
These MLMs need to get gag orders, NDAs, mediation and arbitration in their contracts. While they're onboarding you to tell you how to make them money, they need to also make you aware that they are going to protect themselves at all costs. I'm not on the side of MLM, but I'm also not on the side of bull. I'm not on the side of people not understanding how business works. And I guarantee you, these same people will go into business and do something else. And one thing they're going to realize is that nothing is perfect. It's not perfect if you go work a 9 to 5, because you work a 9 to 5, you're working on somebody else's dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect if you own your own business, because you're taking a chance and trusting in yourself to work on your dream. You still going to spend some money. I don't care if you just get a logo and a DBA, you still just spend $100.
That's true.
So, you want to believe in somebody else, or you want to believe in yourself? With an MLM, they kind of give you both the best worlds. You also work for another company that is in charge of you getting your inventory, but you also have a DBA whereby you own your own stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your last opinions on this? Overall, from your understanding.
I can see both sides, but more on a personal level because of what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But I am just curious to see how it's gonna go for them. I mean, I didn't even check on the website when they started. When did they originate? 2013.
Who, the company?
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
2013.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2020 now, so all that has happened. So in another 5-10 years, I
And
wonder
it
where it's
sounds to
gonna
me
be.
like the lawsuit started 1.5 years or 2 years ago.
The class action.
Yeah, the class action seemed like it started in 18 or 19 maybe.
Yeah.
So it's been going on for a while, which, of course it takes time to do a documentary. And then
True.
you got to find your salty and your sweet people. You got to find the ones who
Yeah.
don't like you no more and the ones that still like you. And I think a lot of ladies, you notice there were more people who had complaints, and then you only had one or two that said they were still with them. But I think the ones that are still with them are just afraid to say that they're still involved, because now they're embarrassed. Even if I'm still running my company and I'm doing really successful, bringing in $50,000 a month, now I'm embarrassed to recruit people because, oh, you saw the doc now.
I would feel like that right now, yeah.
Oh, child, if I wanted it, I would buy it from you. If I wanted that type of business, I would join today. But that's not my thing.
And I think every business, somebody's gonna always have something bad to say.
Oh yeah.
But what
Let me
makes people
tell you,
skeptical is
all
when
the
there's
time.
thousands
It
of
don't matter
people.
how many. 1 and 1,000 to me is the same. Because one complaint, they'll tell the complaint before they tell how great they were doing before the complaint.
Oh yeah.
So it's just the way it is. Well, I had a very, very exciting time watching episode 1 through 4. I hope that they update it and do more. It looks to me like they probably will, since they only did 4, right? So they're probably interviewing more people to see how it's going. I'm just interested to see how it's going to go. I would love to connect with some of these women and just give them some tips on, maybe do this the next time, or we gave the tips in the beginning of the show, but that's really all I have to say about it. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fascinating that they did the doc. I know there's a lot of other documentaries out there on different businesses. I've seen some of them, but this one, because it was women focused and because my business is women focused, I thought it was just important to even talk about, to just share the opinions. And I'm so glad that we don't think alike and that we don't have the same opinions on stuff, because it gives a more fair view.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are going to feel like you, and then there are people who are going to feel like me. So that I do love. So as we always say when we're at the end, please do what?
Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And on our YouTube channel, we have all of our social media handles, but definitely turn your notifications on so that you'll know when the next time we're posting content.
Yeah, because if you're watching our show and you're enjoying it, but you're not hitting subscribe, what you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Until next time, bye for now.
Bye. Have you been looking for the right bags and accessories to go with your perfect summer or fall outfits like me? Visit the Brigati Collections website. You won't be disappointed. The Brigati Collection not only carries vegan leather, but they also carry 100% genuine leather as well. All leather goods to include vegan are limited edition, meaning limited quantity of styles and colors to produce, which are about less than 50, so it will be first come, first served. The website is www.burgaticollection.com. That's B as in boy, ORGOTTI collection.com. There are over 75 products to choose from, so go ahead and head on over to their website and please make sure you take advantage of your chance to sign up and win a gift. I personally came across a few sunglasses and crossbodies I'm going to have to cop soon, so I hope you do the same and notice that there's free shipping always. And we didn't forget about you fellas either now. Make sure you check out their unisex aviators and bags as well.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You're wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?